Hey guys, it's Tana. Welcome back to my channel and another video for the Not Too Shabby shop. Excuse my voice, I am sick again. Anyway, you can visit Jamie's shop at nottoshabby.com, and I just showed you a coupon code that you can use when you go to shop. Some exclusions may apply, and you can see those on the website. So today we're using the Sending Love stamp set by Waffle Flower. And yes, it's that time. It's time to start thinking about Valentine's Day. If you are one to send out Valentine's cards, I know that I will be making a lot of Valentine's cards for my daughter's class. So I'm going to use some Bristol Smooth paper here, and I'm going to ink those out with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And I covered them with clear embossing powder and heat set those because we're going to use some, I'm going to use zigs. You guys can use any type of marker or watercolor marker that you like. If you're interested in the colors, I can list them below, but you can really use any colors you want. I just wanted you guys to be able to see how I did the coloring. I did stamp out all the pictures or the images in the stamp set, but I only end up using the little mouse with her cute little envelope, her love note, as you might say. And instead of using water, I'm using a zig blender brush to spread out my color. I kept the coloring fairly simple. And while you watch that, we'll just talk about some other stuff. No music today, guys. So I came into the house yesterday. I think I ran to the store for my daily intake of Red Bull. And there was 2 pieces of acetate, or maybe packaging. I know it wasn't like specifically acetate, sitting on Riley's desk, and it had droplets of water on it. And she was sitting over at the kitchen table, and I said, "Riley, what is this mess over here?" And she looks at me with this like nonchalance, this look on her face like I should have known better. And she says, "Watercolor backgrounds." And it was like, duh, Mom, watercolor backgrounds. I did not teach her watercolor background, so I don't know where she learned it from. But needless to say, her and Lindsay went about making watercolor backgrounds after Riley was finished eating with none other than Crayola washable markers. That's right. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, then you saw those finished backgrounds in my story feed today. Or maybe a couple weeks ago by the time you guys see this video. But they turned out so good. I cannot wait to try this in a video with those specific markers. It should be interesting. I also reorganized and cleaned my craft room recently, right after Christmas, so I will be doing a craft room tour soon. As you can see, I colored all those images, but we're only going to use the little mouse. So I'm going to use those lots of heart frames. I think that's what it's called. I don't have it next to me, but it'll be listed below. And then I showed you all the glitter paper and cardstock I cut them out of. So I have all those pre-cut pieces there. Now I'm taking the other images in the stamp set and my embossing and watermark ink pad and just decorating, I think it's 2 3/4 inches wide strip of purple paper, just so we have some type of background behind her. And we're not going to heat emboss it. We're just going to leave it looking tone on tone watermarked. And after that, I am going to use a top folding A2 size card. Sorry. So sorry, guys. And I think this is a lace edge border die from Lawn Fawn. That will also be listed below. And I'm going to use double-sided tape on the back of my center panel to adhere the 2 lace edges on either side of that. Now the lacy edges were cut out of pink foil cardstock, and that was just some stuff I picked up out of the $1.99 bin at Joann Fabrics. And I think you guys have seen that on my channel before. So that's just some of what I had left over. And then I'm going to put that whole centerpiece up on some foam tape. So the weather here has been crazy lately. Like, I can't even remember the last time it snowed. It poured rain from Friday to Sunday. It was between 45 and 60 degrees all weekend. And don't get me wrong, I am not complaining. I hate winter, I hate snow. But the up and down with the weather is definitely not helping the situation with me getting sick. So we've been passing all kinds of things back and forth in this house, and I just can't seem to catch a break. I don't know if I already said this, but I went to Walgreens and bought a ton of medicine today, $85 worth. So I'm just going to start piling those hearts on and just gluing them with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive because it dries fast. And I wanted my pile to be wider at the bottom and get narrower as we got to the top where she would be standing. And I kept an acrylic block on top of the ones that I was gluing on so that they would stay in place until they dried. I ended up not using the frames that were around the hearts, just the hearts themselves. And I stuck to Valentine's Day colors, a little bit of white to tie in the white card base. Other than that, it was light purple, light pink, dark pink, any type of pink and purple glitter cardstock I already had in my stash. So I'm just trying to measure out here, see if the pile's high enough for her to stand on yet. Decided to add a couple more. You want to be careful with the way you glue these too, because you don't want it to look like some of the hearts in your pile are just laying on the front, because then it won't look like a pile anymore. So you want to make sure that the edges and whatnot are tucked in so it looks like a true pile of hearts. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Nouveau Deluxe adhesive on the back of this foam tape because this stuff's just some cheap stuff I got off of Amazon, and I want to make sure it stays stuck to my card base. And I left the center panel a little bit longer than my card base so I could trim it down to size. I'd rather trim it down than have it end up being too short. And there's my trusty old, very heavy, old-fashioned iron to keep that down until it's all nice and dry. I'm just going to take a piece of that same purple cardstock and we're going to stamp out a sentiment. And we're going to use the one that says, "Just a note to say." And I'm going to use some tonic Nouveau silver detail embossing powder. And we're going to heat set that. And then we're going to trim it down and we're going to make our own fishtail banner. It's really easy to make your own fishtail banner. And I'm going to show you how I do mine. I'm going to stamp Happy Valentine's Day on the inside. So this is a piece of 80-pound Neenah cardstock. And that's usually what I put on the insides of my cards. And I usually cut them down so that they're a half inch. It's a half inch smaller all the way around. Well, a quarter inch smaller all the way around. Half inch total taken off the side, each side, the length and the width. And then I stamped 3 of the little tiny hearts that came on the stamp set and colored those in with my zigs. So back to the sentiment and the fishtail banner while I'm trimming this down. I just take a little tiny ruler and I flip my sentiment over to the back side, and you want to find the center widthwise of your sentiment. Mark that with a dot, draw a line up the center, and then you just want to draw another dot depending on how deep you want to go in with the V of your fishtail. Some people like a deeper fishtail. Some people like a shallow fishtail. You just mark the dot and then you go in from the corner of each edge of the sentiment strip on that side and cut into the center dot where you wanted it to be its deepest point. And be careful not to cut over your dot, because then you're going to have a slice in your cardstock where you don't want it. And that's it. Then you have your sentiment banner. I find this convenient because even when you buy sentiment strips that have a fishtail on the end, you're kind of keeping yourself to certain sizes because you're not wanting to buy all kinds of different sizes of fishtail banners. So it's an easy way to make your own. And this was a fairly easy card to put together. I did put glossy accents on the envelope that the mouse is holding. So there's that, and it makes it nice and shiny. But that was it. That's all there is to this card. It was fairly simple and easy to put together. I popped a little sentiment up on the same foam tape I used on the back of that center panel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you find me on Instagram and Facebook. I do have a blog, which I hope to get going very soon. Right now it's only got one story on it, or one tutorial. Don't forget to check out Jamie's shop, nottoshabby.com, and I'll have that with a link below for you. And don't forget to use your coupon code, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.